affection to each one in turn, and have sworn to them all you be true. A kiss in the moon while the world was entombed, and then left her to hunt a new game. Has it ever occurred to you later, my boy, that she's probably doing the same?
So the show is about these four characters who were involved with the crime of the century, is what people called it, that happened in 1901. There was a murder on the rooftop of Madison Square Garden. And the show kind of untangles and unravels all of those characters' different points of view about what happened that night and what led up to that night. And each act is told from the point of view of one character. So the first act is told from Stanford White's point of view, the guy that was murdered, and he does his act in the form of a melodrama. The second act is told by Evelyn's mother's point of view, and she tells her act in the form of a living newspaper. The third act is told by Harry Thaw's point of view, and his act is a courtroom drama. And the fourth act is kind of this experimental collage of light and video and sound and movement fragments and deconstructions. And that's Evelyn's own act. She kind of ends the act with this kind of hallucinated fantasy world. I feel like the job that the play sets out to do is it's cubist in a way. You know, we want to see this story from all angles at once. And the play says life is complex and we can't really know that there's a singular truth. Like even the main character of the play, when she's on the stand in the courtroom and they're like, what is the truth? What's your version of the truth? She doesn't even know. She says like, there are so many different versions of my story that I've told over the years that I don't even know which one is right anymore. And I think that's the power of how this particular play operates, is that we can examine a moment of history and we can understand that, you know, maybe there isn't a singular truth, and that kind of truth is kind of how everyone experiences it. The reason their story is so compelling is because they're kind of eternally locked into an American culture of like a cast of American characters that hasn't really gone away. But we're still interested in them because the things that they did to each other and the way that they kind of presented their outsized appetites still kind of rings true for what we're seeing in the news and what we're seeing from the celebrities and the entertainers and the politicians in our world today. I feel like are intrinsically connected to some of the appetites and ambitions of these characters. So to me, that's really exciting that the playwright has said, for the purposes of this play, these four characters are eternal. They're kind of locked in this room together forever, battling out their points of view. And so looking at them that way, I really felt like, wow, these are kind of eternal presences in the American cultural landscape. I'm really interested in kind of like going back to the root, going back to that night on the rooftop of Madison Square Garden and figuring out like what happened there that was so terrifically connected to the spirit of this country's kind of striving and flaws and kind of fucked up weirdness, that these kooky characters, these screwy characters who are all kind of insane in some way, did something that has lasted.